How do we even say that we stopped full-time RVing?
Just like that.
So after 3 years, we got a home base.
3 years, 1.5 months.
It was just time. I think we had been feeling it for a while, but I think we were just waiting for the right time to exit.
It's like everything just kind of fell into place to make this shift happen.
Right.
We were enjoying RVing still,
Yeah.
but like you said, we could kind of feel that maybe we were getting close to the end. We kept trying to like band-aid things.
Yeah, it just felt like we were just floating along from one spot to the next. I just feel like we were just going through the motions, kind of. There was no like excitement about going to the next spot. Like when we first launched, we were super excited about everywhere we went, and it stayed that way for years. But it just, that excitement kind of started dwindling
Because it started to become normal.
Right.
Hey, look, we're in a new city again. Hey,
Yeah.
look, there's another museum to go see. Hey,
Right.
you know, and it starts to become repetitive.
You take it for granted.
You do. It stops being so special.
Yeah.
You know, like vacations are always exciting and they're always special, but when you are doing this constantly
Week
for
after
3
week.
years, and then it started to feel like a lot of work.
Right.
You know, oh, we gotta find a new spot, and then if we're boondocking, where do we get water? And
Yeah.
it just it started to feel heavier.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put that.
I don't know. And then, you know, like we were talking, there's always going to be little annoying things, no matter what, whether you're in a house or an RV. But it's like all the little annoying things started to become really annoying.
So yeah, this goes into now why we kind of stopped, is because there was not one specific thing.
No.
But the little things that you could put up with, I can't even think of, I don't know.
You know, a lack of storage.
Oh yeah. Like
Keeping things in the shower. Like when we boondock, you have to have the water jugs in the shower because there's nowhere else to put them. So now you want to take a shower and now you got to empty all the stuff out of there.
Right.
Not a big deal. It takes like 2.5 minutes, but to do it over and over and over again.
Yeah. No place to escape.
Right.
No place
We're
for you to hide or anybody to be like on their own, except for going outside. Which is not always the best.
Right, it's too windy, it's too hot, it's too cold,
Yeah, there's no perfect environment. So yeah, we started thinking, you know, well, I fifth wheel, right?
Right.
Because those are like, they're more homey than a motorhome.
Right, and then you have the split floor plan, you know, kids on one side, parents on the other side.
Right.
You know, because we were in a Class C with the bunkhouse, and I mean, they are right basically at our feet.
Yeah, and even on the Class A, anything
always
drivable is going to have the bunk beds or by the back.
Right.
I don't know if that's some kind of like design limitation thing, but it seems to be like on every drivable rig, that's the way the layout is, unless you go to a fifth wheel. But we enjoy Jeep adventures. And after driving for 2 years separately and then finally towing, we're not driving separately again. So, and then you end up with a truck, and then you end up with a fifth wheel, and we didn't want that because we like the mobility of a Class C.
And we've put so much work into our RV.
Yeah.
To try to start over again.
Yeah.
You know, it's because we had already done that. You know, the RV that we started out in was really small. We inherited it, so it wasn't ideal for our size family, but it was a great starter. You know, and we made it 16 months or so, and we started having those feelings. You know, things are getting tight, things are getting frustrating.
Yep.
Let's upgrade RVs.
Yeah.
So we tried that thought process again this time. Maybe we can buy a little more time if we switch RVs.
We would go to a Super C because there's the power issue. That's a very big lack of power when you're going over passes. on this V10 gas motor, especially when you're towing. So we saw Super C, but then
you would have layout.
Yeah. But then same layout, we'd have to lift it. Then we'd have to put the money back into it for solar because we prefer to stay out of campgrounds. But we came back to it just, well, we have this motorhome and everything. We don't have any bills, and so it just didn't make sense to go to anything else. And so, yeah, we ended up getting a home base in Colorado Springs, Colorado. We've been through this area multiple times over the years. This is where we have the maintenance and work done on our RV. It's got great proximity to the west and all the great stuff out there. It's right at the foothills of the mountains. You have amenities, like
oh my gosh,
tons of amenities. And this is kind of weird for us because we have always lived rurally out in county, not in the middle of the city or in a city or an area that has hustle and bustle.
Right, where everything is within like 5 minutes.
Right.
And you have like 2 stores. So you can go to this one here or you can go to this one here, and they're both only 5 minutes away.
It's kind of nice.
It is nice.
It's nice to be in the air conditioning all the time. It's nice to have a washer and dryer.
Oh my, that was my biggest thing. I was done with laundromats, and you know, that's one of those little annoyances.
Right.
You know, there are some people who love it. You know, you can take 2 weeks worth of laundry and you can wash it all in one day and you're done. But no, I want my own washer and dryer. I want to be able to do things on my time. I don't want to have to make a special trip somewhere.
Yeah.
We have a huge kitchen.
Oh my gosh.
Which I didn't realize how much I missed.
All the counter space.
And a real fridge.
Yeah.
And oven and a dishwasher and a garbage disposal and
a place to work, a place for me to work, because I mean, working the first, that's why it's been very busy for us over the last couple of weeks. I have been working a lot and taking advantage of the very comfortable environment to work in. I've gotten more work done in this 2 weeks than I probably have in the last
it's been
6-8 months. I mean, it's just living in an RV and traveling in an RV and trying to work in an RV, it's not the best work environment. You truly need a space that you can think in, and that's how you'll be able to do your best work. But we made it work.
Right,
but
you can make it work. You can make anything work.
Right.
But over time, it really starts to wear at you.
It does.
And, you know, like you said, it's not one thing that pushed us over the edge. It's things that have been building and building. And, you know, it's like 1,000 different things.
Yeah. It was starting to take a mental toll. So that was the signal, like it's time to bounce. Right. And so we were in Colorado Springs having the work done. And so typically we sit there for weeks at a time because these guys are so busy. And so then we started
time to think.
Right. And so we started to think more and more. So we started looking around on Craigslist. I think you were just sort of looking around on Google Maps.
Yeah.
And clicking on these different places. And we wanted to find a place that had a garage because the weather in Colorado is like volatile.
And the hail.
And like this, our Jeep is like our baby. And we don't want anything to happen to that. So like having a garage was like mandatory. So, and we didn't want to get into a house because I don't want to get into that amount of debt again.
Right. Because we had just sold the cabin and we were able to pay all of our stuff off. We didn't want to start that over again.
No way.
And especially because I don't know that we know for 100% where we want to be.
Right.
None of us do. Our oldest, Max, he even had the idea of like moving to a new city or state every year because we're renting and we can just go wherever we want to when this is done.
Yep. So I mean, yeah, it's a nice place. We have no yard work. You don't have to worry about any of that junk. We have no responsibilities. We have no financial ties here, except for like you have to be here for a year, right? So it's not a big deal. But it's a great place to launch off from. And at the end of the year, if we don't like it, we can just move somewhere else because we're typically a little flighty and we get bored easily. So I think it's just a perfect. I think it's the perfect path to take after getting off the road full time because then you have time to kind of think and adjust,
right,
and try to figure out like where you actually want to be. So no, we're we're not selling the RV. We're keeping the RV.
Right, and we'll still go out and we'll do stuff.
Yeah, we have this cool rig. We're still going to take it out. We're still going to get out often.
We don't regret being on the road. I think what we have spent the last 3 years doing has been amazing.
Right.
The memories, the stories, the places we've seen that we would never have seen otherwise. Zero regrets. So if you ever have the opportunity, if you're ever curious, what would it be like to go and travel for a while? If you have the opportunity, do it. But yeah, we're sitting in a completely empty place now because
I feel like college, like bachelor pad.
Yeah.
We got a TV, and that was the only thing that we pretty much got.
That's pretty much. And
because
beds.
even the TV in the RV was so small, we never actually all got to sit and watch TV.
Nope.
And we still have not actually got all watched.
Because we don't have a couch.
Because we don't have a couch. So, but that's what cash only is. Instead of just going in.
Yeah, we'll do it little by little. We'll
right, little by little.
What we want.
Instead of just going and getting everything you need all at once.
But,
we've been quite content living in that small RV with lack of space, so sitting on the floor in the AC is good.
Yeah.
So what's next? Still adventuring. We're still gonna get out. We can't sit on the weekends, and it's been kind of just relaxing over the last couple of weeks, just kind of recuperating.
Yeah,
from
decompressing.
3 years on the road. The kids have been in their own rooms. They have their own rooms now.
Yeah, instead of a tiny little
right.
bunk.
So they've just been in their rooms, and everybody has just been in their own space.
Parker comes out every once in a while. He gets the zoomies like a puppy, and he does laps around the living room. And
there's so much space. And then when you see the stuff that we have, like, oh my gosh, seven truckloads of stuff to pull out of the RV.
There was so much stuff in the RV, and I blame that on Nick because he is like a master packer. If you go on vacation and there's the person who has to pack all of the stuff into the trunk of your vehicle, he's the guy you want because he will find a way to make it happen.
It's bad.
And we used that to our advantage in the RV.
Blessing and a curse.
Yes. And I mean, there was so much stuff, like even in our closet.
Yeah.
All the stuff that belongs in our closet that we took out of the RV. It's like, how did this fit?
Right.
In the RV,
we had to have saved 300 plus pounds.
Plus.
Easy. And so now the whole thing just feels lighter. And speaking of that, the rig's getting worked on. As we said, we're keeping the RV. Mm-hmm. It's getting a new steering box just because the steering has become a little loose, especially when it's windy. It's not so much a swaying issue, but it's more just I want the steering to be a little bit tighter. So we're having a steering box done. And a couple of other just little fixes. And we'll be taking that out. We'll be towing the Jeep. Mm-hmm. We'll be going on adventures. In a couple weeks, we're going to be headed up to near Vail. We're going to be doing Holy Cross, which is supposed to be like the hardest trail in Colorado. They rated a 9 out of 10, but Bridget Canyon is rated at 9. So and I've watched videos, and the ratings aren't the same, right? Obviously, but it looks very doable. I'm very curious, so we're gonna head out there with the group, and after that, there's just plenty of stuff to be done around here, plenty of exploring to be done with the Jeep. Most of our videos will probably be Jeep related. I think if you've been watching our videos for a while, you've seen kind of that shift
transition,
from RV travel over to Jeep stuff. And although we'll still be doing RV travel, it probably will just be more of the Jeep stuff.
Yeah, the RV will be how we get to the Jeep stuff.
Right. So expect more adventures. And if you've been following us along this whole time, thanks for still following us and following our adventures. And I think the fun's kind of just getting started. It's just going into a different phase.
It's a new chapter.
Right.
I don't know. I think our thoughts have just kind of been all over the place because once we started talking about the possibility of getting off the road, things moved very, very fast.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I feel like it was within 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say within a couple weeks.
We had found a place and signed the lease, and it was
done.
Yeah.
It still doesn't feel real because, in a way, I think it feels like we're just about to move on to the next spot.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, how, you know, whenever we get into a new town, a new city, I've looked places up, things to go see and do, and, you know, you have kind of this checklist of things you want to do before you have to leave. I have that checklist in my head now for Colorado Springs, and it's like, wait a minute, slow down.
Yeah.
We have 12 months to do all this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if it has fully sunk in.
Right. It's sunk in when you're in that hot shower for like ever. You're like, yes, the shower feels so nice.
You don't have to duck under the
shower
head.
It's so great.
It really.
But then there's people everywhere too, so you got pros and cons. No place is perfect. You just have to make do with what you have, the situation that you're in.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's something that we've kind of perfected over the last 3 years too, is you know, learning to go with the flow and adapting. Yep.
Biggest lesson learned from all this, and perhaps a little patience, and we've all gotten a lot closer, and we've bonded as a family. So yeah, no regrets.
No, I think it was really good for us, the 3 years.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't see us doing it again.
No, not full time.
No.
I'm excited to get out and do like little trips because so the rig's been parked over at the shop. We've been back a couple times to get the remaining stuff out. And the last time I walked in there, I got a little excited. I was like, ooh, you know, it's a trip, you know, to go out and be a weekend warrior, but then to come back to home base.
Right. And
when
do
you're done,
all your laundry.
And to recuperate. Yeah. Won't do it again full time, but I do recommend that you get on the road and experience it for a few months.
If you have the opportunity.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's you will surprise yourself with the things that you can do, the things that you can adapt to.
Yeah.
The things that you can figure out, and then going and seeing all the places and
experiencing the different cultures and the different ways of living, and then you realize that for the most part each city is just a copy and paste.
Very bizarre.
Same people, different crazy drivers from place to place, but yeah, pretty much just a repeat.
Yeah.
But to see that in real life and experience more than outside of what's in your bubble, I think is very important. And so I'm glad that the kids got to experience that.
I am too.
So I guess that's it.
We're here.
We're here. So we will see you on the next one.